All right, Oval fans. Now, yesterday I did like a barrage of videos, I think about 8 of them, but there was one I didn't do because I didn't think I should, but I was reading comments on the videos I posted, specifically the one about how many victims has, how many murder victims does Jason have or something like that. Basically kind of going over all the people he's killed so far. And somebody in the comments mentioned, why is it just women? And again, let me just put it out there as a disclaimer. This is not in any type of way Jason defense video. This is just me trying to explain as best as I can why he is the way he is, and in regards to how he treats women. Now, I don't know any serial killers, nor do I plan to. But then again, like they say, it's like the person smiling next to you, your neighbor or whatever. You never know what kind of shit's going down. But in any case, I'm just going to use little clues and evidence that we've kind of been pointed to in the show so far, specifically during season 1, and possibly getting down to the root of what's going on. I mean, it has been stated that in future episodes, they're going to be like some kind of like therapy sessions between Jason and his folks. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But this is just me looking at the evidence we've seen so far in the show. If there's anything I've missed, make sure you let me know in the comment section. But before going further, let's go ahead and get the viewership ratio up on the channel. Basically, this means I want more subscribers to actually account for my total channel watch time. Right now, we're only about 26% of my views coming from subscribers, whereas I really wish that was outranking the number of people watching the channel who haven't subscribed. So make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel, and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. So my biggest thing is, and I don't mean to sound generic, but it's kind of on his parents. What I mean by that is, typically children grow up to be the product of the environment they've been raised in. Now, just looking at the fact that Hunter and Victoria have had not the best, they haven't really shown the best example of what it means to be in a loving marriage relationship, not to mention being loving parents. They pretty much left the kids up to their own devices, especially when it comes to just leaving them to the help, the security and whatnot. They pretty much did more of a job watching after the kids as opposed to their parents, not to mention, it was doing their best to keep the kids out of trouble. And they could only go so far with that because, just based on how Gail is, you can tell that she's the type of person who's always been using her position. Is like, do you want your job? Well, I can get you fired if you don't do this or that for me. So that's one way to look at it. Also, look at the fact that it was mentioned that I think it was Jason who figured out the password to Hunter's server on the internet. So he's able to look up anything he wants to without it being tracked, to him anyway. But then I think Gail took the computer too and then found all that weird porn on there. And I think it was Kyle or somebody else who found out, or was it Donald that found out about all the weird porn that was on the computer, and they assumed it was Hunter's, but it wasn't. Like Victoria called him out several times for just sitting around watching porn, because I can see the reflection in your glasses, dumbass. But I don't know the different types of porn. I don't. I've already said on the channel before, I don't really have that vice of like pornography, drinking, smoking. It's just not my thing. But apparently there's like different forms of it, especially just looking at Denise and how she was dressed the last time she went over to the White House, and like the attire that is probably associated with like whips and chains. It reminds me of Daphne and Evan from Ambitions, because they would always get together and do freaky stuff like that. So violent porn. I guess to me, Jason is probably reenacting some of the porn he's seen, because those memes like choke me harder, daddy, what? So it's kind of like that. And there's also the fact that when you just look at, if Hunter is like, well, if Jason is kind of emulating what he's seen his father do with women, I want to be honest here. He's probably been creeping around watching his dad have sex with different women. Like the fact that he told Hunter that he knew about Denise. He knew about Denise coming over to the White House, you know, from time to time. So he knows about that. And remember, they were in like the governor's mansion and mayor's estate or whatever. So it's probably been something over the years he's looked into. This dude's a creep. So probably seeing everything going on. Like, you probably wonder, well, Jeremy, I kind of follow what you're saying, but why would he take a sword and chop off her head? Perhaps he came in there to try to have sex with Denise, but she refused, and then he chopped her head off. Maybe. Or once again, he just decided to reenact something he saw on one of those porn videos. I don't know. But I'm just guessing that based off how he sees his father treat his mother, he emulates the same thing to women. Like, women are nothing but sex objects and whatnot. And maybe he has like his mother's temper as well. Like, you know, Victoria is always threatening her children, not to mention the women that Hunter brings around. So he probably killed her for that. I mean, there are just so many levels to this that, to be honest, I don't want to explore. But I'm sure as the show unfolds, we might go into the inner psyche of this twisted young man. But yeah, that's my guess as to why Jason has only targeted women. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to kill the dude as well, but just based off what we know about him so far, he's definitely the type of person to go after what he wants, but he gets frozen. It's almost like, you know, if you run a red light or something and you just drive off without, you know, you're like, oh my God, I hope nobody saw that. It's like, basically, if you do something and you don't want anybody to catch you, you try to cover it up, but, you know, it'll come back to haunt you in the near future or at some point in time. So I really do feel like at the end of the day, Jason is a serial killer. Oh my God, his name is Jason. Hockey mask. Oh, my bad. I just put that together. If you know me, I don't like horror films. So I just now put that connection together. But I just feel that Jason's serial killer tendencies when it comes to women is definitely a result of the porn he consumes, looking at his parents. And it's just crazy. Because again, maybe you're not a serial killer, but if you had parents who had like an abusive relationship, that definitely influences how you interact in your relationships, or it even prevents you from getting married or being in a relationship because you don't want to be exactly like your parents. It's like, because they set a bad example, maybe you're afraid that you'll turn out to be like one of them, you know, just saying. But I think that Jason's serial killer tendencies come from that. Now, why he has a thing for his sister, yeah, that's some weird shit. Don't get me wrong, Paige Hurd is attractive as hell, but that's your sister, dude. On the show, anyway. But, yeah, that's the best I can come up with. Maybe we'll find out more next week. You're probably wondering, well, Jeremy, I get the whole Denise and Jean thing, but what about Maude? Everybody has a breaking point. And like I said, you know, he's probably seen his father choke out for Victoria, so he probably tried to just do the same thing he did the same thing to Maude, and he tried to do the same thing to his mother. Again, everybody has that breaking point, like when they are done being stepped all over. But to kill someone is a bit extreme. But again, when you have abusive family members, that tends to happen, especially it's always the quiet ones. I'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I really hope that, you know, if I missed anything, you can chime in so we can get the conversation going. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month.